Today our story is called Froggy Eats Out. On the front cover we see Froggy, right, and he's eating, looks like spaghetti with flies. And then his mom and his dad, and they're all eating at a restaurant. Down here at the bottom, this is by Jonathan London, right? He's the author, and he writes all the Froggy books. Illustrated by Frank Romowitz, that's the illustrator who draws the pictures, and he draws all the pictures for all the Froggy books. On the back cover, it just says Froggy. And here's Froggy. He's putting on a little bow tie because he's going to eat at a fancy restaurant. This part of the book is called the spine, right? We can't open it. And inside these are the pages. Here's the front cover. When we open up the book, we see a title page, right? Froggy Eats Out. All right, here we go. It was almost dinner time, and Froggy was hungry. He sat in the kitchen and dreamed about burgers and flies. Not burgers and fries, burgers and flies. Then he hopped up and looked for something to eat. He looked in the cabinet. Slam. He looked in the fridge. Slam. He looked in the oven. Bang. "Mom," yelled Froggy, "there's nothing good to eat." "Froggy," called his mother. "What?" "Did you forget? It's our anniversary. We're going out to eat." An anniversary is like when a mommy and it's kind of like your birthday. So when your mom and dad if they have a wedding and they get married, next year they have a celebration on the same day to celebrate their anniversary. So it's kind of like your birthday. On the day you were born, next year you celebrate again that same day. That's your birthday. "Hooray," sang Froggy. "Let's go." "First you have to get dressed up, dear. We're going to a fancy restaurant." So Froggy flopped to his bedroom. Flop, flop, flop. He slipped off his shirt, unzipped his pants, took off his shoes, pulled off his socks, and he even changed his underwear with a zap of elastic. Then he tugged on his best pants, zip, buttoned up his best shirt, zip, 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 put on his best socks, zoop, pulled on his best shoes, zip, and tied them up, zwit, zwit. Then he put on his best bow tie, snap, and flopped out to show his mom and dad, flop, flop, flop. Ooh, his mom looks really pretty. "You look very handsome, dear," said his mother, "but you forgot to wash." "Oops," said Froggy. So he went to the bathroom and washed his hands and face, splash, splash, splash. He used lots and lots of water, but only a little bit of soap. Then he dried off with a towel, zoop, and looked at himself in the mirror. He thought he was kind of cute. "Froggy," called his father. "What?" "Time to go," said his dad. "We'll be late." And off they flopped to the restaurant. Flop, flop, flop. At the restaurant, Froggy's eyes grew big and round. There were glowing candles, flowers in vases, and tablecloths as white as snow. "This is a fancy restaurant," said Froggy. "Yes," said his mother. "So remember, you need to be neat, be quiet, and don't put your feet on the table," right? So don't make a mess. Don't make a mess. Don't be quiet, and don't put your feet on the table. When they were seated, Froggy said, "I'm hungry. Let's eat." "First, we have to order, dear," said Mother. "I want a hamburger," said Froggy. "No hamburgers here," said his father. It's a fancy restaurant. When the waiter handed him a menu, Froggy opened it and knocked over a glass of water. Crash! "Oops!" cried Froggy. "Oh, Froggy," said his mother, "remember what I told you?" "I know," said Froggy. "Be neat, be quiet, and don't put your feet on the table." But it was hard to be neat and quiet. He fidgeted, that means he moved around. He shook salt on his hand and licked it. He banged his spoon on the table, bang, bang, bang. And then he hit it hard. Then he hit hard on the tip of the spoon and flipped it right into the waiter's head. Boing. After the waiter finally came and took their orders, they waited and waited and waited. Froggy pulled petals off the flowers, he blew out the candle, and he sucked on sugar cubes and ice cubes. Is he being neat, quiet at the restaurant? His feet are on the table, but do you think he's being good? No, right? He's making a big mess. He's playing with the salt, and he's banging his spoon, right? And he's ruining the flowers on the table. Then he hopped up and flopped around the restaurant. Flap, 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 singing, "Be neat, be quiet, and don't put your feet on the table." "Froggy," called his father. "What?" "Please sit down. Now." Froggy sat down, and finally dinner was served. Froggy stuck his fork into a huge plate of spaghetti and sucked some up. Slurp. It was fun, so he slurped up some more. Slurp, slurp, slurp. Okay. Do you guys remember her? And that's when he saw Frogilina. She was sitting with her parents. "Hi, Froggy," called Frogilina. "Who's that pretty girl, Frog?" asked his mother. Froggy was so embarrassed, he ducked beneath the tablecloth and pulled and pulled and pulled, till his spaghetti and fly sauce landed smack on his head. Splat! "Oops!" cried Froggy, looking more red in the face than green. "Happy anniversary," he croaked. "What a mess!" cried his father. "Oh, Froggy," said his mother. Froggy scooped spaghetti off his face and said, "I know. Let's eat out at a fast flies place." "Good idea," said his mother. "Let's go," said his father, and together they leapfrogged all the way there. Flop, flop, flop. Where they ate burgers and flies. Munch, munch, munch. The end.